to Dare to Be Us. Hi, I'm Ruth, founder of The Corner Beach and the host of Dare to Be Us. Welcome back to Dare to Be Us. Today we have a special guest for me. I met him when we were in Toronto Film School. He is a film producer, writer, and he is an amazing human being. And we have here Eric Olson. How are you?
Hello, Ruth. Hello. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here with me. I know it's been a while. We've talked throughout these years, but we haven't really have the time to meet us in person. And I really would like to at some point to meet you and have a hangout or something. Like that'd be nice after all these years of being friends from what do you call it? In distance.
Long distance friendships. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to get to Halifax because I like your donairs.
Oh, I know. There is a donair here that it's close by my house, and my friend goes and gets the donair sometimes for us with a lot of mayo because he likes the mayo. Oh my gosh, so good.
I like the white sauce, the Halifax sauce. That stuff's awesome. I can't get enough of it. It's like it's a strange thing where I crave it sometimes. But on the West Coast, I'm in Vancouver, or I'm actually in Langley. But we don't have those things here. We don't.
Oh, really?
We can't do the sauce like Halifax does the sauce, man. No way.
I wonder why even though you have the ingredients, sometimes it just doesn't. It's just not the same, right?
No, you need that northern touch. You need that.
Yeah.
That northern touch. Shout out to everybody who understands that. That's awesome. You're dating yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what else? Is there anything else? Like what kind of I've never been there, where you are. So what is the traditional food there that you actually like? Yeah.
In Vancouver, you can live here your entire life and not dine into every single restaurant here. Like it's endless. You can do whatever you want. Everything is good here. I don't have a problem with any food, any mom and pop come in hole in the wall kind of thing. And, the bathroom might smell a little weird, but the food's awesome, kind of stuff, but yeah, no, it's really great little place here. If you can afford it.
If you can afford it. I know right now, where can you afford everything, right? I think that right now it's we are in a recession where I feel no one is able to do not even the essentials, man.
Yep. It's pretty hard. It's pretty tough. I make it work. How about that? I don't really know what else to say, but I don't have a big fancy house. I don't have a condo that I have I got no problems roughing it. Tell you that much. I lived in a trailer for a year, right? On a blueberry farm here in that's actually in Richmond. So this big trailer just pulled it into a blueberry farm and I lived there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At least, was it fun? At least did you get something out of it? A lesson, or a nice.
I learned that. It didn't really matter. No lessons learned. I just needed a place to stay that was cheap, and that was the cheapest place to stay. It was I don't even want to tell you how much it was because it's not even that cheap, but but it's cheaper than having an actual house. So
yes, yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's tough times, tough financial times for everybody around here, I think. So
yeah. So I wonder though, because we're here experiencing a housing situation, right? And there is a lot of homeless people, even people that they are actually working and having a job, and they can't afford or they can't find something, and they're literally homeless out there. So is that something that you see there as well?
That's me. Yeah, 100%. That's me. Like that's why I moved into a trailer. Like I can't afford to rent anywhere here. No actual physical address. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I have places I can go and, obviously stay and things like this, but it's not really it's not really my home. It's just somewhere I
so
go.
roughly what is an apartment at, I don't know, a one bed apartment?
You're looking at about $2,000 a month.
Yeah, well, it's around like the same here.
Yeah, $2,000 a month is about where you're at.
Yeah,
And that's for a cheap place. Out in the middle of
wow.
nowhere, right? Probably,
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. No, probably not out in the middle of nowhere, but it will be somebody's basement suite with, 6-foot ceilings. So that might be good for some people, but for me, I got a duck the whole way through. So it's,
Yeah,
yeah, everything's tiny and yeah,
yeah, yeah, I bet it is.
it is what it is. I don't know. Um, I think, if I'm good at one thing is I have mastered being poor. I have mastered it. I can get by with very limited amount of money. I've mastered it. And it's because of what we were talking earlier.
We were talking
I've
earlier.
never
Yes.
been in one place too long. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you want me to go down that rabbit hole yet, but yeah, essentially I've mastered being poor. I got no
Yeah,
issues. I got no
yeah,
issues. I'm like the man. Now, if I'm the master at anything, it's being poor. 100%.
yeah. So we were talking, Eric and I, while we were out of camera. We were talking about his experience with the relationship of with the relationship with his parents and the interaction and all the things that he has gone through, and how that has put him in a really difficult situation with his mental health, with the way that he interacts in life. And well, right now I was asking him if he was able to share with us how has it been for him, because he was telling me that for up until a few months, tell me if I'm correct, that you're starting seeing that change where you're more stable, whereas when you were a teenager you were not stable and you had to leave your house in a really um you were really young.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I'm jumping on your podcast here and I'm going to try and keep everything on brand for you. So if we're going to talk about like mental health struggles or not just the struggle, but
Yeah,
like how do you get better and the steps you need to take, or I don't want to say need, but because everybody's different, but anyway, it's
yeah,
just kind of, I don't know, just tell. And even for me to try and spit this out is hard because I didn't grow up in an era where you talk about this. You're not supposed to, right? Like I grew up in an era where men were recognized for enduring the pain. The more you endured the pain, the more popular you became.
wow.
And that is the reality of where I come from. The more pain you endure, the better you become. And that's
Why
tough
is
love
that
is what they
though?
used to say. Tough love is what my mom called it, right? It's
Mm,
tough love.
tough
You got
love.
to endure the pain and then I'll love you. And that means, or you have to do this and then you can stay here. Or you have to perform this duty and I will be a mom to you, you know? And so everything was conditional. right? Everything was like, love is conditional. It's not
Yeah.
unconditional. Only my dog gets unconditional love.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah, and so these are, I mean, I could put it into more context and give you more history and stuff like that, but essentially, if I were to put it into some one-liners, you know, some good sound bites for your shorts on Instagram later, those would be it, right? Like, and, and you know, I didn't grow up in a ghetto, so to speak. You know, it wasn't like you know, it was, you know, from 1985 to you know, turn of the millennium there at like 2000 or whatever. You know, it wasn't like we were what you see on Boys in the Hood or something like that. We weren't like that, right? But we were poor, and we were largely not taken care of, left to our own vices, kind of figure it out, fight or flight
Butterfly.
kind of situations with everything. I don't know, I might be rambling a little bit, but
No, you're good. So you were telling me that your mom was 16, right?
yeah. I don't know how to like um I don't think I really want to get into mom and this and that. It's more about how I am recognizing it, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, because what's done is done, and it happens, right? Like, you can't go back and you can't change anything, and those things are always going to be there with you. But you know, it's how we respond to it and how we grow from it. And you know, my life's been a roller coaster. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and it's funny because I think some people see me. I know this to be true. Some people see me and they'll be like, "Oh, he was on TV," or you know, "Oh, he worked on this movie," or he won an award for best this or that, and like, and well, people might see like these successes and assume that, you know, things are going great. You know, they often aren't. They often
Yeah.
aren't. They're just, it's just stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it, but the
So we were,
brain. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask you something about the rest, but keep going and then I'll ask you again.
I don't think our brains are. Remember, I was telling you about our history lesson. Should I do the history lesson again? Should I do
Sure.
that again? Because it's
Yeah, sure.
relevant, I think.
Yeah,
Oh my
sure.
God. I think I got it better the first time. But
That's
I
fine.
guess,
We're
so
gonna
we're
get into the
talking,
flow again.
it's just such a giant topic, and I don't want to ramble about it. So just trying to put it into some sort of reality. And I
Okay.
don't want to move too far into the future.
Let me help you just a little bit so we can just with what we talk, and I can bring a little bit into the flow of the conversation.
Yeah.
You were saying, we were talking about that there is a generational pattern where we, or right now with what we share, kind of like figure it out that there is that generational pattern where your mom was 16, where she might have not know how to take care of herself, and she most likely didn't know how to be a mom because maybe she didn't have that as well, right? So um in different families, like in my family, there was another kind of generational pattern that I am actually be the one that I've been breaking, right? And when you are in that position, when you are the person that starts breaking those patterns, as of right now, I feel that things are clearer in the perspective that we were talking about, the spirituality and how we are actually starting to go within us to find our inner self, our inner identity, right? Based on us and not based of what we have been taught and what is right and what is wrong and what it's in social media and blah blah blah, right? And one of those generational patterns was that you were feeling kind of like, oh well, I didn't care, or I want I'm sorry, my parents, they really didn't care, or unless it would be something I did wrong, and then I would I will be hearing about that, right? And it's like, but what is wrong? What is, who is telling me that that's wrong for you? Maybe for you it is, but for me it's not. So how do you relate with what I'm telling you right now?
I think it's hard. I think I really need to start with that data-driven brain here. Why don't we start there? Because that'll help me kind of gather my thoughts. It's kind of how I work. Like I said,
yes,
I'm more. My brain instinctively wants to go to science and data-driven, explanations of why things happen. Right. So I'll tell you what. Here's a recap. I'm kind of hoping this is going to sound like Chunk on the Goonies as he goes through the steps as he's almost getting his hand blended. Because he's trying to tell everybody about all the things that he did as a kid that, maybe his parents might have hated him for, So like, essentially, if anybody out there is struggling with their, if you feel like something's off, or if you feel like you're not acting like yourself, or you find yourself becoming increasingly angry all the time, or sad all the time, or you have it's hard to get motivated, or you're constantly feeling that sense of anxiety where your heart's pounding all the time, you're shaky, you can't sleep, you can't do anything, right? You're totally emotionally dysregulated. You're dysregulated. You don't know how
your nervous system is dysregulated.
Can't do anything anymore, right? Essentially, that's what happened to me about I don't know. I'm going to say it happened like longer than I would like to admit. Longer than I would like to admit. Like I would tell you 4 years ago, but in reality, it's probably more like 15 or 20 years ago. Something happened that triggered me to no longer to kind of like understand, to start thinking about why. Like, why is this happening? Why do I react like this when I never would have reacted like that before? Why am I shaking so much? Why am I so angry? Why do I keep ruminating about this one fucking thing and I can't get it out of my head? Like, I want this thing out of my head, right? So I found when dealing with these things is now you can journal or whatever, but like I just put this piece of paper on a wall, right? Like giant, and I had two.
It's like your map.
Yeah, it's like my map, man. It's like totally like my map. And so so it was suggested to me that I would take all the things that happened to me that now I didn't think these things were traumatic, right? Because inherently I didn't know that these were traumatic events. I thought this is normal. Like, this is what all kids go through, right? Obviously I'm doing it. So I'm supposed to be normal because my brother's normal and my sister's normal or whatever. So why am I not normal and shit like that? Right. So we all kind of like seem to believe that it's our fault somehow, or we start blaming ourselves and we get into
we're not normal.
A shame cycle, right? You get down that shame cycle. Anyway, so I wrote down all the things that happened to me, and it's kind of crazy as I go through the list of things that I thought were inherently normal. So, I mean, so as far back as the first thing I can remember is I got hit by a bike, like a motorcycle, when I was like 3 or 4 years old. Ran right over me, freaking stitches up the back, all 9 yards. Yeah,
Oh my
it's crazy.
God.
And now they have a sign over there. There's still a sign there saying "Children at play," so don't hit the
Wow.
kid. So that was the first thing. I was like 3 or 4 years old, something like that. And then getting a little older, I watched my scout leader die in front of me when I was like, I don't know, 11 or something like that. I gave him CPR. I had blood all over my face.
Oh.
But I was trained to do that, right? So it was like a training thing. And I was so young to think about how I got down there and just started giving him CPR at such a young age. Is kind of like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so anyways, around that same time, I was still a young kid. Like, to put that in perspective, I still had a babysitter. But I was doing CPR on my scout leader. That same babysitter, I got to tell you, my mom caught me making out with her when I was like a kid. Yeah. Like, she was like 17 or something like that, right? And she's making out with like an 11-year-old. Like, what the heck's going on here? So, is that trauma? I mean, at the time, you got to understand, this was the 90s and the 80s. And during that time, I was the man for that. Like,
yeah.
You kidding me? You made out with your babysitter. High five. Let's
Yes.
do this,
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, so anyways, but maybe it was trauma. I'm not sure. So anyways, from there, I walked into high school. I got knocked out. Like, high school wasn't like going to school. It was going to war. I grew up in a place where we weren't like ghetto poor, but we weren't like boys in the hood kind of thing, but it got to be that way, where people were pretending to be that. We're talking about the era of Tupac and the West Side, and if you lived on the east side of your town, you're going down to make the mother fools bow down. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was kind of crazy. A bunch of white kids thinking that because we're poor. Anyways, it's just kind of, I hate to say the white thing, but anyways, we were inherently poor. And going to school was like a war. So I remember I was 13 in high school, 13 years old, going to high school. And so 13 to 17 is what the age group was. So these kids are enormous at age 17. Like, these guys had full mustaches. I had nothing. I had no mustache. So anyways, first, like, I think it was like the first week of school, kid clotheslines me, knocks me right out. I'm like done. And I pissed myself on the field where I got knocked out, because I was, I'm
yes,
unconscious.
Of course. Yeah.
So I pissed myself. So what do you think happened to me in high school after pissing myself in the first week of it?
Well, they most likely they were fucking bullying you.
Yeah, right. Except one thing. So because of where I grew up and my younger self, right? I wasn't gonna get bullied, so I was going there to fight fools. Like, I wasn't gonna get bullied, and I wasn't gonna back down, and I wasn't gonna just stand there and get made fun of. So I got up and I started fighting back. What do you think happened? Not anything good. Not anything good.
You got suspended or something like that.
Of course, I would just skip. I would just flat out skip school and just not even go. And that led into some trouble, right? Ultimately, what happened was I was arrested. Okay, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Before I tell you that one, because this is a really good one.
Okay.
So I'm in high school, and it's 1996. All right. 97, maybe 96, 97, somewhere around there. And we had an auto shop teacher. I'm not going to say his name. And
Yeah.
he was the coolest guy because we all thought he was cool. Like, and in that era, like it was cool to like cars, and he worked on cars, and we were all kind of car guys. Like we liked having nice cars, or pretending we had nice cars, anyways. So our auto shop, we needed some new brakes, or our routers, the brake pads, rotors, the whole thing of my old car needed to get replaced. And of course we're kids, we don't have any money, right? So we asked the shop teacher, hey, do you know where we can get some cheap auto parts? And he says, yeah, you go Midnight Auto Wrecking. That's what you got to do. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, go to the auto wrecker, take the parts off that you need, put them in a bag next to a car, go back at night when everybody's gone home and steal it. That's what you do. And I'm like, oh, what a great idea, Mr. Teacher. It's a fantastic idea. So what did we do? We did exactly that. But because we're kids and we're dumb, well, not inherently dumb, but we just don't have any guidance and things like this. We're drunk. We were piss drunk that night. There was myself and 3 other guys. We all go in there. We're drunk and we're there. And anyways, long story short, through some drunken behavior, the auto wrecking place blew up. We blew it up. Like 500 cars gone, blew up.
What?
Yeah, it was like front page of the paper. Front page of the paper the next day, on the news. My face is blurred out because I'm a minor, can't see me, stuff like that, right? All because we wanted to go midnight auto wrecking like my freaking auto class teacher said me to do. But he didn't tell me to go get drunk and be an idiot and blow up a bunch of cars. Like,
that was your decision.
That was my decision because we're stupid and we're children. But
still he gave you a bad idea of going and stealing those things. Like, well, yeah.
What's the worst that could happen, right? Bunch of kids going there and trying to steal something, right? So anyways, so that's kind of like how I think at that moment is when everything started to fall for me. And I was 15. I was 15 years old. And because of my problems with school and getting, bullied and harassed, and then ultimately just trying to defend myself through fighting and name calling, which I was really good at, to be honest with you. Nobody wanted to fight me with words because I would just make them cry. So, I mean, it's a terrible thing to be proud of now, but at the time it was really great. So anyways, because of my problems with school and things like this, I go to court. They give me probation conditions. One of the conditions being that I have to go to school. If I don't go to school, then I breached my probation. So what happened? I didn't want to. There was a situation where I was like, if I go to school, I'm going to get killed. This guy threatened me with a knife. It wasn't the first time. I'd been stabbed before. So it wasn't like.
Sorry. When you were at court, you didn't say any of what you were going through at the school. You didn't say what you were.
I was 15.
Scared.
I was 15, and you got to understand, during that era, we didn't have light rules. You broke the law, you're going to jail, son. That's it. So it wasn't. So when essentially what happened was they sent me for a probation. Conditions were you must go to school, and guess what? I didn't. I skipped school, and I didn't go, and it was my mom that ratted me out to the cops. She called the cops on me and said he's skipped school again. Take him to jail. And so
they took you to jail.
Tough. That was a rough one because your family's supposed to support you in some way or be behind you or at least try to help rather than just fuck you, send you to jail. Go die for all I care. Because that's what happens to people in jail, just so you know, people die. That's a reality.
Have you ever asked your mom why she did this? I'm thinking maybe
she didn't know what to do with me. because there were so many problems she didn't know how to deal with.
She didn't
At
know
the
how
same
to do it.
time, at the very same time I'm dealing with all this shit, you know, my dad's not there. He's left. He's fucking somebody else. And he's got 2 other kids now. And you know, he's got a new family. Like, we're gone. Like, so she's maneuvering between a divorce and trying to get him to pay child support. And then she's also balancing a dating world that she's now back into. And then she's got this kid that reminds her of the guy that she was with before. And she just keeps making fun of you. Like, you keep doing that, you'll end up just like your father. Like, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. That was regular. I was like, if I knew I was in trouble when I heard that shit.
Yeah.
You know? So anyways, so I end up going to jail, right? And I'm there. It wasn't really jail because I'm a juvenile, right? But it was a John Howard Society jail camp, you know, scare them straight kind of thing. Hey, guess what? For anybody who thinks that shit works, it doesn't. You can't scare anybody straight. All you do is scare them into a corner to the point all they want to do is fight you. That's what happens. So think about a boxing, right? I'm in the corner, I'm protecting myself, and eventually you're just gonna come out and smash.
More mental health issues, right?
Yeah, because you're teaching me that this is what you want me to do. You want me to go and fight every day. So my mom made, like, in my mind, I was like, I can't go to school because I'm gonna fight everybody. Trust me, I want to go and I want to do well. I like learning stuff, but I can't go there and get my ass fucking kicked all the time. And I can't go there and do the ass kicking without going to jail or getting in trouble or so I'm stuck. What
you were just trying to protect yourself and stand up for yourself, and the only way that you found more reliable for you was to actually defend yourself in a physical way, because there was no other way for you. You didn't find another way of support, so that was your only way of being safe.
Yeah, the way I learned how to deal with problems is fight them. And like, you got to fight that guy or that, you know, you got to make that person regret the time that they decided to do that to you, right? Yeah. And there's like this huge amount of revenge in my bones that's tough. And
I can see, I can still see in your body that your nervous system is like that. It's like in that mode of, like, you cannot stop moving, maybe because it's, you know,
I got the ADHD just like everybody else, I think. But yeah, it's I'm always fidgety and moving, and it's a thing with me, that's for sure. I'm trying to. But it's but
it is your nervous system. And you know what? I want you to keep going back. I just want to make like a small pause on that. But I want us to start recognizing that that we have wrecked our nervous system, or the interaction that we've lived along our lives has done something really bad to our nervous system, to the point that we don't even notice it. But when you're starting to actually have more awareness of yourself and being more present with you starting to pick up those things. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes I'm finding myself, like, I cannot stop moving and I need to be doing this and that. And I'm like, what else do I have to do? What else do I have to do? Why can't I fucking go and sit and relax? And in my mind, it's still that situation where, okay, no one is needing me. No, I'm not gonna get in trouble. My kids are okay. Okay, everything's okay.
Yeah.
I can't calm down.
Yeah.
But I still can't.
Yeah, it's your thoughts that are kind of like
Yes, I'm
you're talking
training
about
my body again to be in peace.
yeah, you're training your mind. Actually, it's more like a mind train, because what you're talking about is Carl Jung. Carl Jung talks about this lots. Highly encourage everybody to go and look him up because he was way ahead of his time. Like some of the stuff he says is just so relevant. So Carl Jung says, so also I'm an athlete. I played baseball. That was my first job. Throughout all that bullshit that I just said, I ended up being a really good baseball player. I went
Good.
off and played and competed. I have medals and championships and a whole life of baseball. And if it wasn't for baseball, I think I probably would have died. Like I would have been dead. I would have been overdosed, or I would have got drunk and got in trouble and killed or something. I would have been dead if it wasn't
Because
for
you
that.
had a lot of range in you.
Well, it's because I was good at it, right? So I found something that I was really good at, and gave me a sense of family, like having a teammates and coaches and that whole support mechanism. They really tried to help me. Like I couldn't do this or I can't do that. Like I remember I had no food, and my coach gave me like a whole big thing of canned tuna. It's like, it's like, all right, dude, you got to get your own bread, but here's some tuna. So I remember I ate tuna sandwiches for like a freaking month. But like, how does a 16-year-old get tuna sandwiches from his coach and not his parents? Like, you know what I'm saying? That was my life. Like, I didn't have that. I got in trouble for eating at my house. Like, I got in trouble for not having any money when I'm fucking 13 years old. Like, I didn't. Like, how do I do that? I couldn't even get a job, mind you, right? Like the things that I did after I got out of the jail camp is not good. Like I couldn't find a job, but I couldn't live at home because I wasn't going to live with mom because she's going to send me to jail. And then, so I ended up on streets and couch surfing. And I remember I tried to get into like a group housing thing, but they wouldn't let me in because I don't know, I can't remember what now, but it's all bullshit. Anyways, getting back to Carl Jung, what you're talking about here, is the power of thought. And the reason why I said I'm an athlete is because when something goes wrong in my athletic world, my instinct is to go work on it. Get in the gym, get on your ThoroBand, start doing the little exercises like physiotherapy to fix what's wrong with you, to fix that muscle, right? Well, our brains are muscles. Like it's a muscle, right? And it's weird that I wouldn't think of it like that. Like we need to fix it. If there's something wrong, right? So we got to work on it. And so Carl Jung kind of gives you that perspective of how to work on it and take that approach like it's a muscle. And we need to build that muscle mass in order to get better. And a large portion of that has to do with your thought pattern. Like, think of it. When I do something that I don't like, I often blame myself. I say, "You're a fucking idiot. Why'd you do that? What? Why'd you do it? Why'd you send that email? Why did you get mad at that person? Like, why did you do that?" Like and for me, I don't do anything terrible. Like I'm not beating anybody or I'm not hurting anybody physically, right? But I get mad and I'll send some messages or I'll go on, I just don't know why.
Yeah, because it's your nervous system again going through that trauma that you had.
It's a fight or flight, and for me, it's always fight. So yeah. So Carl Jung says to train your brain differently, to stop blaming yourself and to try to be kind to yourself. Understand that, you need to understand why you're reacting like this and know that it's not inherently all your fault. It's not your fault, man.
It's not your fault.
Or it's not your fault. Like you have these things that you do because this is how you learned. You weren't taught any other way. Like somebody lies to me, I'm going to say, fuck you, you're a liar. And I'm going to try and beat the truth out of you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When inherently that's not the right way to do it. That's just how I was. It wasn't even how I was taught. It was a survival. It's a survival instinct at its very primitive form. Like somebody's trying to hurt me. I need to defend myself. Right. This is a primitive way of thinking. And
yeah, because if you think about it with what you're telling me right now, I'm just to tell me if I'm wrong, right? You had a mom where they constantly she was comparing with your dad that in her eyes was a failure, so she made you feel like a failure, I guess, with all of those things. And whenever you would think that she's telling you, oh, you're gonna be like that and that, it's like, oh, that it's wrong. Being like your dad would be wrong and a disappointing for your mom. And then the fact that people are not accepting you in the school and they are bullying you, and the fact that you want to be good for yourself but there's nothing else because you didn't feel safe enough to go and find someone that can feel safe for you and to um uh, make people take accountability for what they were doing to you. Because the school system as well, I feel that they need to be more empathic people, or the principal, the teachers, they need to actually see in a more wider and just get this shit out of, like, oh, you need to be good, or oh, you need to do this is the right thing. No, why don't you listen first where this person comes from before you point out, instead of making them feel bad? Why don't they find the way to make them feel safe in order for them to actually be vulnerable? Because vulnerability, it's a really hard situation for you guys. If it's sometimes for us being vulnerable, for you guys it's like even worse. I got
yeah.
I see so many broken men that it just breaks my heart, right? Because I didn't even think of that until right now. I've been being around, and I've been listening more to men and what they used to live, and how the society has put burden into you, that you need to be the one that needs to bring the money, that needs to support the money, that needs to go out to get the money, and be the strong. And it's like, wow, there's a lot of pressure in just one human, a lot of expectations that they need to fulfill. And as well with us, right, being, for example, I am being a mom, a single mom, basically. And I see as well, all the things that I have to go through. And it's like, man, but I've been able to understand the side of my ex-husband as well, and say, okay, he's in his own situation and he's working on his own things, and get into that level of compassion. It's really hard to do it, because you need to be able to just unlearn, no, learn to unlearn, to learn again based on what you believe and how you feel.
Yeah, and that's again something that Carl Jung talked about is the rebirth, right?
Mhm.
He talks about being born twice, and I know it sounds cliche to be like, I'm born again, and it kind of
No, it's
sounds like a
not.
movie or a TV show or something like this. But I'm believing it now, and it's because that person that you were born into this world with nothing on their backs, that was being taken care of, that was named by somebody else, who was literally taught everything by somebody else, and you're really not your own person just yet. And we live that portion of our lives for a time, but I think there has to be a time where we grow out of that shell and become somebody else, and that is a painful it's a painful humbling process, I guess you
Yes.
could say, because it's not easy. and it's not a happy thing to do. And it's not like the movies where you might have a bright shining light come down on you with the songs of the siren. You know, it's not really like that. It's more like
Yeah.
it's more like a like a like a like a siege. It's like your body and your mind are under siege, constantly getting bombarded with rocks and cannons, like, and all those rocks and cannons is another thought or another memory of something bad that has happened to you, and you're throwing it in, and you're throwing it around in your head, and you're ruminating on these things, which creates like a shame, like you're shameful of everything that you've been through. And anyways, I feel like you got to you got to retrain your mind to not ignore it, but to literally, and I know how this sounds, but to learn from it and to grow from it. Now, easier said than done. Like when you've been dealing with things a certain way for, like, I'm 44 years old now. So shit was going on when I was 15. Like, we're talking a long time for.
Hey, not that long, okay?
That's a long time, Ruth. I'm sorry. Check this
Come
out.
on.
That's how long
No,
it
I'm
is.
43.
long
Not
ago.
that long, man.
This one time I was a model with hair, I swear. Maybe I'll share some pictures. You'll be like, that's not the same guy. No way. But no, like, it's really hard to retrain yourself after spending, 30, 40 years in a cave where you've been thinking about all the bad shit. And it's funny because, you introduced me as like a award-winning filmmaker or whatnot, and I don't remember those things. Like, I don't sit awake at night and remember the good times. You know what I mean? My brain is fixated on everything that's bad. And I'll tell you why that is, actually. And I'm sorry if I'm hogging the mic here, Ruth. But I'll tell you why that is. And it actually stems back to, like, when we were, growing as a species, like Homo sapiens. Because that instinct to fight or to feel shame or to feel guilt, it is actually something that ingrained into our DNA or our genetics from like 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Because this is how we would, like, as a species, understand other Homo sapiens, essentially.
Yeah,
right?
it's the blueprint that we have in our DNAs. Yeah.
It's a blueprint. It is. It's something that's ingrained in us to warn us of danger. Like, there's something bad that's going to happen, or you're reminded of the bad things that have happened. So it won't happen again. You're not going to have that happen again because you're always thinking about it, right? So inherently, when we were coming out of the caves with sticks and spears, right, this kind of stuff worked for us. It worked out great. But then, I talked about it earlier about, because my brain needs to understand why. Why is this happening? Why are humans? I feel like I'm drifting again. How about we get like this? Good thing this is edited program. I'll even give you a sound bite. Bang. There you go. Now you know when to cue it. So, like, I want to talk about that history, because I think, I don't want to put it down right, but I want to go back to, I want to talk about ADHD and how it's being, I want to talk about I want to talk about how everybody has ADHD. Why does everybody seem to have ADHD right now? I mean, it's true, right? It's all over the place. All I got to do is put it in the Google search or YouTube or whatever, and there's a gazillion videos, and guess what? They all have a gazillion views, right? Like, they got lots of views. People are making money. off of talking about this. So
Yeah.
it is my brain, like I said, data driven, science driven, common sense sort of driven, in a way, says, okay, hey brain, you know what? Something's going on here. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't match up. Like, why now? Why does everybody have ADHD right now? And why not 20 years ago? Why not 40 years ago? Right? Like, is it because we're inherently more aware of the condition? I mean, maybe. Is it overdiagnosed or misunderstood? Like, just because you forgot your keys doesn't mean you have ADHD, right?
I think it's misunderstood.
Right? It's like everybody thinks they do because they jump onto social media, they're on their favorite influencer or whatever, and that person says, well, if you have these symptoms, then you might have ADHD. And now everybody does. And they run to their doctor and they get some pills prescribed because that's the easiest thing to do in Canada, get a pill. So anyways, my brain's kind of like thinking, why now? And I started thinking about history, and like I said, I did want to go to school. I did like learning things. I just never went. But I never stopped learning. So let's just take this history lesson from a totally uneducated fool like myself. But so humans came out of the like way back. We're talking 50,000, 100,000 years ago, whatever. I don't know the timelines, right?
Yeah.
But humans have grown. Our brains have adapted to each scenario, each situation, each like climate that we've been in. And so when Homo sapiens first started, we were nomadic. We were hunters, we were gatherers, we moved with the seasons, where there was very small, tight-knit families. And that's how humans moved and operated for like thousands of years. Thousands. We're talking thousands. Like, it's hard for us to understand that, but like, we're talking like a long time of evolution took place there, and that's how humans operated. And then at some point in time, the time is debated, trust me, so I'm not going to give you a timeline, but at some point in time, humans figured out how to farm. And then when we figured that out, shouldn't say humans, but Homo sapiens, when we figured that out, we became more community-wise. Like we had larger communities now because we didn't have to travel to find food, or we didn't have to pack up and go because it was going to get too cold here and we could die, right? We started digging in. Our communities became bigger. We had to learn as a species how to communicate. Our language became bigger, stronger. More words were needed to communicate with everybody. And this is how humans developed for another thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, even if you, depending on who you ask and in the community. Some really interesting theories on that, actually, but I'm not going to go down that ancient aliens kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but yes, like, we can talk about aliens later.
Aliens. We're aliens, obviously. Fucking lizards.
I love talking about aliens.
We're all fucking lizards. But anyway, so humans developed this way of living, and it was like we were forming communities, we're building languages, we're building more relationships. We were really relationship driven now, right? Where we, those kinds of things became practice. And now I want to fast forward to all the way to, let's just go into modern times here, right? The way humans now communicate and interact with each other has changed so dramatically that I don't think our brains have really adjusted to how we process information. Just think about those the Homo sapiens that are coming out the cave, right? It took them thousands of years, to figure it out, right? To grow, to evolve mentally, right? We're not there yet. The way we do things now has changed so suddenly, so dramatically, that I don't think the average person could can really stand it. Like whether we think we're taking it well or not, I don't think we are. I think it's it's just a whole new way of communicating, and we're just not ready for it. And then you put some people in the mix that have some emotional dysregulation, and traumatic past, and you give them a portal to literally say anything you want and to do anything you want. It creates I don't think we're ready for it. I don't think we're ready for it. People can't shut.
I think it's already happening. It's slowly, but it's happening. And I don't know. I mean, I'm really happy that you're talking about the aliens, and you're talking about all this history and how you see it. But have you ever listened to the fact that in the Darwin theory there is that chain, or what's it called? How do you call
The
it?
missing link.
The missing link. Yes, eslabón. The missing link, right? And with everything that I've been studying, I like listening to Dolores Cannon, Joe Dispenza. I have some other podcasts that I've been listening. They're in Mexico, and they have a lot of people that are getting into the journalists, especially journalists, in getting into this and doing more researches in this, and finding people that they are more in touch, or that they have had experiences with the with aliens, right? And so they were saying that most of them, they say, like, I see the information and I connect the dots, and most of them are saying the same thing. And in that missed link that there is, they say that the Anunnaki was one of the first aliens that they started making those genetic mixture with the
Anunnaki
what it
came
was.
here. They played with our DNA, and
Exactly.
That's how it all happened. And they came from a planet that rotates outside of our solar system called Nibiru. Oh, I'm right up on the subject.
Exactly. Yes. I love that. I love the fact that I can talk to you about that. And then they were saying as well that if we wouldn't be if they wouldn't combine that DNA with theirs, then what we call the Bigfoot would be the evolution. That's where we would be in an evolution, right? If they wouldn't actually get their DNA in us, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, for what I've heard as well, they are trying to have an evolution, like a better race with that combination of human and alien. But they cannot. The thing is that they cannot do anything to interfere with the spiritual growth, with the mental, all of these generational patterns that we're bringing, the blueprint that we're bringing from there. We have to figure that out for ourselves, kind of thing. And I'm thinking, just like you, I feel like there's still a lot of things that people are not ready to hear. There's still people that, that story that I was telling you about Oprah and this girl that, if she actually accepts what she was saying, then her identity will just fade away. And then what? She will have to actually face herself to find her own identity, and maybe she wasn't even right. She didn't know how to do it. She didn't know how to accept the fact that if she embraced that, then she would have so many rejection. And for me, I feel that people that has been in those shoes where are rebels, just like you, just like I am. Like, I'm always getting in trouble with everything as well. Getting problems with how I feel, how I think, how I express, and people just don't like it. And it's like, what's your problem, dude? But I've learned how to embrace that, right? Because before I felt like I was the wrong one. I felt that I was the one that I was doing something wrong, the one that I was not feeling secure with myself. And then it's like, fuck. Now I understand, and I see, you know, at least myself, when I see my childhood, and I'm like, whoa, I had a really tough childhood as well. Uh, uh, Kind of like yours, in where I was as well, not in an environment where, you know, I was raised by my grandparents. My mom wasn't there, was there, but wasn't. And, you know, I was the daughter, the aunt, I mean, the niece, the sister. So there was not really a stable environment for me, right? And now that I see, it's like, okay, I wouldn't be the person that I am if I wouldn't gone through that, because that made me who I am right now. It made me actually going through those things so I can understand people better and be more empathetic, and to actually accept and embrace my own perks, my own way of being, and how I am giving light with that, right, in some shape or form. And all I see is when you're telling me, oh yes, I had big like these issues when I was a kid and all of this. It's like, yes, but if you think about it, when you're ready and you're getting all these, you're always ruminating in all these thoughts, and you're especially telling me, oh, because it's everything that I'm doing bad. And especially with what you were saying with your mom, you know, obviously in your mind, everything that you do is wrong, because she makes sure that that was that, right? And I'm pretty sure she did that because she didn't want you to become that, not because she thought that you wanted. She just didn't know how to express it. She just didn't know how to be, you know, a
She never,
coherent
it
person,
wasn't,
I guess.
I don't think, I don't think I thought that everything was wrong. And
Good.
looking, cause like, it was just, I was never acknowledged for the good stuff. I was only ever acknowledged for the things I did bad. If I did something
Exactly.
good, well, you're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be like, it's just good as supposed to be, right? It's not something that should be congratulated or whatever. Or I would win, you know, I'd go to a baseball tournament or a fastball tournament, and you know, I'd win gold medal, MVP, you know, be the stud, be one of the, as they say, be the dude. And you know, when I got back, there was, you know, there wasn't any kind of acknowledgement. It was just like, okay, so how much, like, when are you going back to work? With how much money you got? Like, are you going to buy this? Are you going to buy that? Like, when are you going to grow up? When are you going to start being responsible? Like, well, I just fucking won MVP at a senior A tournament. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yes,
So you know what I mean?
that's an
It wasn't,
achievement.
nothing I ever did was good enough, or nothing was ever really acknowledged. And looking back on it, I think that is probably the thing that made me believe that everything I did was wrong, because I just was never congratulated. I was never told, hey, Eric, great job. Like, we're proud of you, man. It's funny, I wrote some things. It's hard to talk and with people, and so I end up talking to the robot on ChatGPT, right? I would imagine a lot of people are doing that, self kind of therapy on chat, right? Maybe a good thing, maybe not a bad thing, but I'll tell you one thing. This robot said that the robot and I we got to a place where the robot asked me, he's like, the robot asked, hey, you know, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self something, what would you say? And without even thinking about it, I threw it down there. I said, what would I say? I'd say, you can stay with me, man. Like, we can get through this together.
Good.
Like, that's the only thing I ever wanted, was just like to have a home, to be like safe in a space where I could like work on things and work on whatever I was going through. And you know what I mean? And I never got that. Like, I never, it was, and so it was a powerful thing. I could not believe that's what I said. I couldn't believe it. Like, out of all the things that I could have said to myself, like, man up, you pussy, or stop being a bitch, or, you know, whatever you do not talk to that girl. You know, I didn't even think of that. It wasn't about a person. It wasn't about a person who wronged me. It wasn't about getting.
It was just about you and the insecurities that you had.
It was just one thing that I wanted, was just to be able to have a fucking house, just to live in a space without being kicked out every 8 months. Like, and that's literally happened since I was 15. Like, every 8 months or so, something goes wrong and I'm on the move. I'm on the run. I'm gone.
Okay.
See you later. I'm running away.
Have you, I'm guessing with what you've shared now, you have heard as well of how manifestation works. Have you heard of how that works? Manifestation?
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
yeah,
with
we're creating things.
This is me feel my intuition, right? You're telling me, okay, well, it's just that you know, I've everywhere where I've been living, it's like 8 months, right? And or even a little bit over than 8 months, and that's it. What if your body, what if your energy, it's already has been programmed for that you already know that as you're getting to that, the situation that you are getting involved to that point or whatever is just rising to get you out of that you know when the cycle is close, when it's about to close. Okay. And that has happened to me too, you know, when I'm in a, you know, when I'm working and something like that happened, and it's like, wow, I'm feeling that this is just, it's gonna start. People are gonna start saying things about me, and it's about, you know, oh, I'm getting just
it's okay.
Yeah. You know, people you know, I'm starting feeling that people are not okay with me anymore in that work environment. And, you know, a month after I'm starting feeling that, is like, oh, I know that I'm going to get laid off, because they cannot really do anything else but a laid off because I'm a good worker. It's just something about my fucking energy. Well, not fucking energy, but it's my energy that my body has been programmed to actually go through that over and over and over and repeat the same pattern until you actually just make sense of it. And it's like, okay, so what's going on? There's something here that is just not, I need to get rid of, right? I need to get rid of like,
it's a defense mechanism. You have a built-in defense mechanism that's something has happened to you, and your brain has learned that it recognizes when those things could potentially happen again. It sees a pattern, or it recognizes some similarity, and you get into that defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're ready to fight, right? Or you're ready to fight. You're either going to run or you're going to fight. One of the two, right? People go both ways. They don't ever.
Yes.
When you're feeling that way, when you're dysregulated, you can't you only have those two choices. Like when you're dysregulated, you can't you can't form a rational thought. Like what you might have done yesterday, anyways, your reactions are going to be completely different. You got to learn how to,
Yes.
recognize those things. So, but yeah, it's a tough.
You know what? Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that person. What was the name that you were saying about this guy that you listened to?
What, the teacher?
No, not the teacher. The guy that talks about the mind and how you train your mind.
No, Carl Jung. Carl Jung.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just makes me remind. Was the same person that says that you're reborn?
Yep. He talked about being reborn. Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. When I met my ex-husband when I was 19, and I think I was like around 23 before we got married. I always thought, and I used to say to him, I'm going to die really young. I don't know why I think I'm going to die really young. And you know what? I did. And I did when I actually just started seeing to myself, and when I was like, with all the divorce, with all this new identity, which, I kind of like, I saw myself that I lost myself in not really into the marriage, but in some other stuff that it's like, wow, I actually died. And the way of dying was I had to let go of the way I used to be, the way I used to interact with people, the way I used to, like I really, it's going towards the darkest of the darkest, like how they have a name, that night of the dark, is it? Or the soul, night of the soul, night of the dark, something like that. They call that. It's when you're like getting into the darkest way. And I've learned and I've heard that darkness, if you think about the moon, it has the side of the darkness, and then it has the light, right? So we need to go through the darkness. We need to die.
Yeah.
We need to, lose that version of ourselves in order for us to start one. So, and that's when you're starting to see all the changes and how it shifts in your life, how your body starts to actually, breaking that pattern where hopefully whenever you feel that you are dying and reborn, you're starting seeing this different so
I think what you're talking about, is Carl Jung said, I don't know if you ever heard of your shadow. You're talking about the dark side. That's your shadow.
Yes, right? That's one thing, doing the shadow work
and
doing
all
the shadow work, but it's different. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Kind of like that. Like Jung says, like you say, it's important to that person before, that person who was trying to defend themselves, that was, that old person, that shadow, that darkness may have saved you, and it got you to where you are right now, and it made you who you are right now. Mm-hmm. Right? That was your old defense mechanism. That person got you here, and holy shit, I can't believe I'm still alive. Right? Like, like tell me, like I've thought that over and over and over again. Like, holy shit, how did I not die doing that? Or I can't believe I made it through that situation alive, or, things like that. Now it's important to understand that person got you, that person protected you for a really, really long time. Yeah. But I think when you start talking about like the death, like reborn is trying to get not get rid of that person, because that
No.
person did help you and you need to be kind to that person.
And it's
right?
part of you.
It's part of you. But the reborn is redefining how you deal with situations, trauma, anything, right? It's no longer about that person. That person is dead now. You being reborn is becoming somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then understanding if you start to feel super emotional and you're feeling sad or shame or you just feel like crying for a day, that is when you are reborn. At that
Yes.
point is when you're broken and you're down and you're out and you can't stop crying or whatever. That in that moment is when you start your journey. And it's not like think of it like a woman giving labor. Okay. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to be painful, right? You're being reborn here, man. We're pushing you out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It could take, and women give
it's a
birth
grievance that you're doing with yourself. So if it's hard to grieve a person that you lost for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be at death, right? It can be it can be your mom, it can be your brother, it can be family that you need to cut off of your life, maybe for a certain time, maybe forever, I don't know. It just depends on how's the interaction and how you are healing within you, right? And if it just, because boundaries are good, but as well, it's that sense of letting go of that identity. And I think the greatest and the most difficult thing is to find the new you, because you need to be able to go and actually get your ass out and see what you want and see what you like without actually caring of the judgment of other people. Because when you start doing that, then you start actually to let people to get into your life and tell you what to do and how to do it, right? And it's I know that most of the time they come from a space of caring and worry for the person that they care for you, but we need to learn that sometimes it's not our position to actually say no, you shouldn't, right? You must do this. We need to experience, because if we don't experience and if we don't fucked up, we don't know that that's not for us. The fucked up needs to be there. It's like a must. Otherwise, there's no way for you to see another perspective of things, right? And so finding yourself in that situation when you are starting to reborn, it's really, really, really hard. It's really hard to be in that space, right? And until you actually understand yourself and you're getting that identity, well, yes, obviously you are in a better mindset, in a better mental health, within yourself.
I think what you're talking about just now about having people tell you stuff and what to do, and kind of goes back to what I was saying before about how humans aren't ready for our new way of communicating, because you better get used to it. Because ironically, this will be put on social media, and I'm going to tell everybody right now, stay off social media. Like, just don't. If you're going through some times, all right, and if you're looking to release or get out or say something or whatever, don't make it public.
No.
Like, you're just asking for it, right? Like, let's face it. Like, there has to be somewhere else you can go for validation or for safety or whatever. If you decide to put a TikTok video out or an Instagram or whatever, right, and you start getting comment sections blowing up telling you, yeah, it's going to be hard for you. But this is what I mean. Like, we're not ready for that. We're not ready for this type of communication. Like, we're not.
You know what? Have you heard of Bashar?
My wife heard you. She said yes.
Oh, she's okay then. Yeah, come on, join to the conversation.
No.
You haven't heard from
I don't know
Bashar?
Bouchard, but I know. No, I don't know that one.
Okay, well, so he is he's well, his name is not Bashar. So this, I can't remember the name of him. He's a director. He has done a lot of writing, and like he Daryl something. I can't remember his name. But he has been the body per se, or the third party that an alien has made contact with people through him, right? So he's been in a lot of interviews, and he does events and things like that, and he is there, and he's actually talking, Bashar, the alien, is talking through Daryl, right? So the other day I saw a reel where he's like, it's not your business what people come to you, because she was saying something about social media and how, the comments would make her feel bad, and how people, project and things like that, right? And he said this, like, this beautiful thing. It's not your problem of why they are, I don't know how he phrased it. It's not your problem that people are saying this kind of like thing, right? It's not your problem that they are attracted to the energy. They need it for one reason. It doesn't matter if it's negative or not, but it's not you. It's not about you. Whatever you are bringing into the play to that people, it's not your concern.
That way of thinking, that way of thinking can definitely help. I mean, and for an emotionally regulated, stable person, that makes sense.
It
but
does.
let's say,
it helps a lot.
Say somebody like me could never do that. I don't have the regulation just yet. I will not. So it's like I said, everybody's different. Everybody's dealing with it differently. But for me, I would never be able to do that. And I know my boundary there, because I can't. I would not be able to stop myself from telling that person exactly how I feel and where they should go and how to put it there. You know what I mean?
No one should be saying to anyone where they have to do or where they have to go, right? And definitely,
I really believe that social media is the problem. I mean, we are not, like I said, look at the data, look at the history. We're not ready for this. We're not ready.
I don't think it's the social media itself. I think the way it is directed. I feel that there is still that
social media is directed by those who are doing the directing. If I start my own channel, I'm a director.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, that I feel that it's still, there's a lot of this
we're not ready for the amount of information that's being thrown at us. We don't understand what's real, what's fake. We question everything. Is that person a real doctor? Am I listening to the right person? Is it AI?
Oh, well, that's another thing.
It's not a real space. It is not a real safe space. If you think that social media is going to save you and going to be a safe space for you, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Newsflash.
No, it's not. See, I'm trying to do this like a safe space where we can talk, right? Like a community, but no. But what I'm saying is that I know that it's still like, sometimes it's like a little bit of that different of opinion in one thing because yes, I know that we cannot trust everything that is outside, because we don't know what is true and what it's not. um and although I want to make this really safe, I know that there's people that they can, take the information as their convenience, right? As they are having their present life, whether it's um 3D life that is based on ego, or a life that is just getting into more awareness, with where there is more awakening within you and your soul, and what is right for you, right? Because the reality is that even if I am telling you that this is right for me, maybe it's not right for you, right?
Yeah.
And you can be inspired of someone's truth, but that doesn't necessarily have to be your truth. So
Yeah, that's true.
so I feel that there is a lot of bad experiences, yes, they're out there, but there's still good things that we can get, and not just to convince people, because it doesn't have to be convincing anyone, right? Like my friend, I have another TikTok friend that we've been talking, and the other day she's like, "Oh, I'm just losing like faith in this, because I don't know, I don't want to people think that I'm convincing." I'm like, "Well, I think that it's just the way that you see things, right? Why are you doing this? Are you doing these things because you're waiting for an exterior uh that they, that what's it called, acceptance,
Like
or saying that
validation.
you're okay, or validation?"
You want to be accepted and validated. You want to feel special. You want to feel heard.
Yes, or
And
you're
all
doing
of
it
these things
because
are
this is
dopamine.
aligning to yourself.
It's all dopamine coming from social media. Like
Yeah.
you like if I want to make a drug that you got to keep coming back to, like without making a drug, how do I do that? Well, I'm gonna make a social media app. That's what I'm gonna make, right? I'm gonna get in on that for sure. These are just it's just my belief, and it's just a belief that I have based off of data and history and the state of the union. Let's face it, like everybody's a little bit off. Let's face it,
Yeah.
we all are.
Yeah.
And
No,
why is that? What
we
happened?
all have
What happened
something.
20 years ago that all this stuff started happening? What happened? Oh, right. I had a MySpace account. That's
Yeah.
what it was. And I figured out that I didn't need to go talk to girls anymore. All I had to do was jump onto ICA or I whatever the freaking ICQ was and find a girl and go date her.
ICQ.
Right? ICQ, remember that? Jesus. Like our age group, like my age group, I'm 44. We invented this kind of world that we're living in.
Yes.
And I gotta tell you, the same people that invented this world that we're living in are the same people that are on street corners, hunched over, hooked on fentanyl, dying every single day, right? Those are the people. They're all my age. Like it's my opinion, but literally, we
I
fucked it all
feel that
up.
our age,
It's our generation. It's our
yes,
generation. We were like all the guys who invented this stuff are my age. Like so.
yeah, I know,
That's what I say when I say we invented it. Our
yes,
generation did.
yes,
So
it's our right
I'm
generation.
sorry for that, guys. Sorry we fucked your life up.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, check this out. Those people who are on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube and some of these people, they are. So I also have a marketing and sales background, and we were taught to, when you start a channel, right? When you start a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever, you pick a lane and you stay in it. If you divert from that lane, right, you are going to lose people who engage with your message. So you only ever stay on the right or the left. You're never in the middle, because according to marketing these days, it is bad to do that. You have to stay with your community. And that causes echo chambers where there are no other opinions or thoughts being driven through your mind. It's just the same message over and over and over again. And whether that be, good messaging or bad messaging, whatever, it's still the same message over and over and over again. And that's called an echo chamber. And social media is full of it. And they train people to do it. That, like, YouTube training. You can go on a YouTube training video right now, how to grow my YouTube channel. And this is what it'll tell you to do. So social media is the problem. The people who are teaching people how to do the social media are also a problem. Not to mention the fact that we have deep fakes, AI, all the rest of the shit that goes on. We don't even know who's talking to us anymore. Like, is that an AI voice? Is that somebody's real voice? Yes. It's a dirty, dirty game. Nobody's ever going to convince me that there's anything good about social media right now, except for, I got to tell you, like, I do have guilty pleasures, like baseball. I love baseball. And
that's not a guilty pleasure.
No, but the guilty pleasure is coming. The guilty pleasure is coming. So I love baseball, and I watch these guys make AI spoofs, like AI spoofs about baseball players, and like, you'll see the coach of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone,
your contradiction,
tackle a guy, and like, oh no, it's all AI, but it's hilarious. So I mean, okay, great. So I do watch the AI sometimes, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? It's funny. But anyways, that's harmless, I feel.
I think that, yes, I think that it's just the perspective of how you use the information, right? You can either use it and okay, well, I know that it's just something that is not real, but it's making me, have a nice moment right now, just that with that, right? Those are attachments as well. I feel that those are attachments as well. And as you are growing, I feel that those things will change at some point when they are not serving your purpose, right? But if it's serving your purpose right now, like, yes, like, there's not absolute truth. And I feel that what they're doing, and you are explaining about, how they marketing right now are doing all these things to be able to get all these statistics and all the freaking algorithm that it needs to be, and blah blah blah. And it's like, that is kind of like making us to just be part of this and generating that separation of ideas or of people, of the way that they express, and like, just freedom of expression itself. And there is not absolute truth. Why? No absolute truth. If there is just one truth, then there is no growth, and there's always needs to be growth, right? So, and I feel that there's a lot of good things that we can take. I feel it's like it's the same. It's like when there was not fucking social media, but there was newspaper. There was in the newspaper, you can put the spilling the tea, like a post. If you think about it, it was a fucking post.
It took time, though. It took time, and it took effort, and you would have to wait. Right now, I can go on my phone and comment on anything I want. I don't have to wait for the newspaper to print it. I don't have to wait for an editor to say if that's right or wrong or not. And I worked for a newspaper once upon a time. I sold ad space in a free publication called the Victoria News Daily. So I know lots about newspapers. I was right there at the end of it, selling ad space. But yeah, it's totally different. You've given everybody an avenue to bitch and complain about anything, anytime they want. And I could literally go out there and screen record something, put it into AI, have somebody say something I don't want. Like, you know what I mean? It's a dirty game, and it's only going to get dirtier. I don't think it's a.
But again, like Bashar said, right? Like
It doesn't matter.
how
It's
the
what he said.
perspective that you see it.
What he said might apply, but what I'm saying to you now is that we don't have the emotional regulation to deal with that.
No.
And so his message, though it makes sense, it cannot be delivered on because our age group did not grow up with emotional regulation. We don't know how to do it. Like our parents didn't even fucking care. Like, okay, check this out. I mean, they probably cared, but in their own way. I'm going to go back into some more history. Okay. When my parents were done watching the news, you know, there was a literal ad that came up saying, "Do you know where your children are?" Oh shit! It's dark out. Where are the kids? I gotta go get the kids. You know what I mean? And so, anyways.
So and we were outside playing and doing
we were drinking from the
things.
We're
being ourselves.
From garden hoses. We were drinking from garden hoses. We were playing outside because, you know, anyways. And while that was awesome, and I appreciate that time, right?
Yes.
But it kind of puts it in perspective of how the parents were dealing with their children with that ad that came up. Do you know where your kids are? You know, that's kind of stuff. We weren't taught how to deal with emotions because they weren't taught how to deal with emotions. My mom is like a Gen X. Like she's only 16 years younger than me, right? So, and I'm a millennial on the butt end or on the ass end of it. I'm a millennial. But before, right, her mom and her dad, they were boomers. They were children coming off of a war, like World War II, right? Do you think all that PTSD, that the people coming home from war, did they talk about it? Did they do anything about it? No, they had trauma. They had massive amounts of trauma. And then they passed that down to my mom and my dad, right? Without even knowing about it. They don't want to talk about their feelings because their feelings are traumatic. Like we're talking about bad shit. Like I watched my best friend die, and then I made a new friend and he died, and then I lost my arm. Right? Like these are crazy events, and nobody talked about it for a really, really long time. And now here we are. I think if I could make the history lesson that short and sweet, that's where it's going to lay. That might actually be good for a short.
So like what do you think about that? So if you were to have an opportunity to be in a moment where they could actually be different and take accountability of their own emotions, how would you wanted to experience that?
I don't think it's accountability. I think it's just about acknowledging emotion. Like,
well, you need to be accountable of your own emotions, right?
I was never taught that it was okay to feel the way I'm feeling and to work through those feelings rather than bury them like they're fucking wrong. Right? So like, I'm feeling angry. Well, you don't feel angry. You know,
it's okay to feel angry. I feel that that's one of the misunderstandings as well.
What I'm saying is that it wasn't. It's like we were trained to believe that was not right. And like, oh, I'm sad or I'm going to cry. Don't cry. You're a pussy. Right? Like those are the things that we were taught because that's how their parents were taught and their parents were taught. And we're talking about a generation that went through an enormous amount of loss and death.
Yeah.
And I don't think that like every child that was born after that era, that we don't know how to, most of us don't know how to talk about our feelings, or we were taught not to, right? And so if we can understand how we're feeling and sit with those emotions, like I've been taught how to, like, kind of like what I'm learning how to do, sit with them, feel them, and understand why you're feeling these emotions and how did that happen without placing blame, without blaming anybody, because you can't blame people. You got to learn how to forgive people. And And that's a hard thing to do. It's really hard. And for me, how I got through my shit, or how I'm starting to get through it, because I'm nowhere near being done what I need to do, but I'm getting there. I'm now acknowledging these things. Before I was like, you're an idiot. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't want to acknowledge anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
I feel that you are taking accountability of your own emotions, of your own actions, because you are accepting the fact that there are new ways for you to have a healthier relationship with yourself, by letting yourself feeling, by letting yourself crying, by letting yourself knowing that it's safe being vulnerable with the right people, obviously, or with yourself, like, because we don't really need to be like I have experienced that I feel sometimes it's even better to be vulnerable with yourself. Yes, I know that we're humans. We need humans to be able to be okay, but first you need to go first with yourself, right? And be okay with that, feeling okay with that vulnerability with yourself, because sometimes it's even harder for us to be vulnerable with ourselves.
yeah,
right?
it's the hardest thing to do. And especially when, especially for a guy like me, or for people like me that really haven't had any type of time to think about it. Because I've been in survival mode since I was 15, just thinking about the next day. Like I don't have time to think about next month. I'm thinking about, what am I going to eat tomorrow? Where am I going to fucking sleep next month? Like these are really primitive, like bare bones kind of thoughts to have. So like when you have those thoughts, it's hard to learn or work on yourself when you're in survival mode. That's what I call it. You're in survival mode. Like nothing else matters except for food and shelter. And that's it. And that's the state of the union right now, isn't it? That's why everybody's so, we're losing it. We're losing. I don't know how else to put it, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
Have you heard of Joe Dispenza?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Have you heard that? Well, one of the things that I've heard in one of the books that he did was that when you are starting to reset your mind is when you're actually starting to train your mind to sit down in the present, to literally be here. Let's say that I'm here right now, it's just like appreciate the microphone, appreciate the view, appreciate, like, and be right now in this, like, stop the ruminating, stop all the thoughts that you have, and and as soon as you're starting to do that, you're resetting your body, right? You're starting to actually be more present without the ruminating in your head.
You're talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rule, or the 1, 2, 3 rule, where you describe something you can see, touch, and smell, right? And that's supposed to ground you. That's like an exercise of how you do it. Like I can feel my shirt right now, and it feels soft, and I can smell bacon. Bacon.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the kitchen right now going, I smell bacon.
And breathing as well, like breathing exercises that, to reset your literally your nervous system.
Yeah. And so all these things are great tools to look up. I didn't work for me, right? Everybody's different. Like I said, for me, in my thought patterns, I really need to justify it in a way that makes sense, and in some sort of data, in some sort of way I can quantify it through history or data. So for me, it really was understanding how humans, like how Homo sapiens came up, and how quickly things have moved over the past 20 years. Like it's only been 20 years. Like it took us thousands of years to learn how to communicate in communities, right? Going from a nomadic or a wanderer, right, to a community-driven species. It took us thousands of years, and now we're expected to do it in 20.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think it's a pretty tall, pretty hefty request. And I might also, and I'm going off on social media a bit here, but I'm gonna leave you with one other thought to consider. And do you know any child actor that turned out to be okay?
A child what?
A child actor, like,
I
you know
don't
anybody?
think so. I mean, well,
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore has been one of
Drew
the.
Barrymore, she didn't get screwed up at all. She didn't show her titties to Letterman.
Yeah,
She
well,
showed her
was.
titties to Letterman. She got all crazy. Every single one of them has
That's
some
what I'm
sort of
saying.
problem.
That Drew Barrymore was the first one of the kids that she talks about all of that and how she has, like, she now that she's getting more healthy with herself and she's embracing her and everything that she went through, you know, she talks about that and she says, what the heck, like, why did I have to go through this, you know, that little kid, you know?
So yeah, so I ask a question, understanding that all those child actors are so screwed up, in what world did we decide it was a good idea to give every kid a device in which they can self-publicize themselves online and essentially become those child actors because they're self-publicized, they're online, they're on TV, they're trying to be that person. And what's happening is they're all getting screwed up. Like, and look at the history. Like, dude, like every child actor is messed up, and now we decide it's a good idea to make every child an actor?
No.
What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
But
it's a lot of pressure, expectations that they put.
It doesn't make any sense to give a child a phone and say, here you go. Why don't you get on Snapchat, record yourself doing something? Because it's only going to cause problems. It's like, just look at all of the child actors. Why did you think that, you know, this is a good idea? It's not. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it is a terrible idea.
It is.
So, no, yeah. It is.
I don't know. These are things that I think about, and I know people's opinions differ, but I mean, prove me wrong.
No, I actually, I think that you're right. Like, I feel that there is, you know, I keep telling my kids, go outside. I don't want you here. Like, go live the life. Right now with my daughter, she's 18 and she's like thinking about this and that. I'm like, she wants to do something in Disney, and I'm like, go around the world, go. Like, don't wait for me. Like, don't stay here just because I'm here. Like, just fucking do your life, dude. Like, find yourself with whatever you want to do, with whatever is actually, you know, if you just want to have that as an experience, go have that experience. Maybe you don't even like it. Maybe you think that it's just too much shit, and, you know, and I don't know, maybe you do like it. But you know, you just did that 1 year and then, or that summer, and then you come back and you do other stuff. Like, I don't know, just go around and do what you want. I'm here whenever you need any, you know, guidance, obviously.
Right.
But we can just conclude this. But no, yes, I feel that we need to see how we can start. At least me, I've been trying to just break those patterns with myself, and it has helped me, you know, realize of the fuck ups that I did with my own kid, right? And how I had to turn that around to not do the same mistakes with my son. And I'm still finding myself that I do some things, you know, that as well. I'm like, oh, I need to do more work, right? I need to do more work with me so I can help them guide more, you know. Like, right now, I talk to my son. Well, I talk to both of them a lot, but especially with my son because he's a boy, and I've seen how all these interactions with men, how broken they are, and I don't want my kid to be broken, right? And And I'm telling him it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to not feel that, you know, you're doing your right now. Find another way until you feel that you're doing it okay, where you're feeling that you're in satisfaction with yourself. You know, all of those things I try to, you know, discern the information. And I found that there's still this stigma of, oh, don't tell this to the kids because they're gonna get harmed. And I'm like, no, I feel that needs to stop, because um oh, that for me, that's like an overprotective way. And that's why people don't know, we don't know how to grasp the reality that we're living in, because we didn't have the information when we were little, when maybe it could be, obviously there are ways to tell the information, right? You're not going to go and say it in a way where it can be harmful.
Oh,
um
good.
but yeah, I was just telling you about how I try to, you know, help my kid to grow in this situation. And I feel that there is a little bit more awareness on how this pattern needs to be break and to be shifted in another way, so there are more healthy men, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah, that's a tough one. That's gonna be tough because I got like the cards are deeply stacked against uh these days. It does seem to be stacked against men, or men's health seems to go out the door for somebody else's cause, or somebody else's, you know, this or that. For example, I don't know. I mean, should I even get it? Should I even say this? But I'm gonna say it. Like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
why do we have Pride Month and Father's Day in the same month?
Hmm.
Why? Like, we're not allowed to be men anymore. Like, it's not like uh,
So
men's
what
health
is
is
what
so bad. It's so bad because we inherently are not important. We are not important. Do you ever notice how it's always the guy who dies? You know, so for example, you watch a movie, right?
mm-hmm.
And it's always women and children first off of that boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Um, you know what I mean? And it's always the captain, the male captain who goes down with the ship. It's the male band that's playing as the ship's going down. I'm just remembering Titanic right now.
Yeah, I know, I know,
but
I
like,
know.
but like,
This is
check it out. It's the
distinctive.
guy's job. It's the guy's job to die. Like, that's inherently what we are programmed with. And to get things even more crazy, and you want to think about it, like I'm not afraid to tell you that about 2 or 3 people that I know every year kill themselves, and they're always men.
Yeah.
Men are the ones that are dropping like flies. Because why? Well, maybe we lost our job and we can't support our family anymore. That's too much for us to take. So see you later. You know what I mean? And when men, I actually looked up the stat the other day. About 13 men commit suicide every day in the United States. That's more. That's more death than drug overdoses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's every day 13 men kill themselves.
And if you think about it,
Just in the United States.
and if you
You know,
think about it,
that's a hard
a-
truth.
all of this, it's because fucking financial expectations to pay the bare necessities. Fucking
Well,
government, fuck
men
off.
aren't
Sorry,
expected
but
to pay for
fuck
the
off.
bare necessities. We're expected to pay for everything, right? Like growing up, it was like, if you're not, you know, rich and able to put your kids through absolutely anything, hockey and all the crazy, you know, have nice shoes on your kids' feet and stuff like
Oh,
nice
yeah, that's
clothes.
what
And
I was going to say. That yes, that you know what, part of the dynamic that social media is just kind of like keep going with it. It's just all the advertising that has been, throughout so many years. Like, think about it, right? Like, I'm a graphic designer, and I had to learn about, posters, Toulouse-Lautrec, and, like all these artists that they used to do, these posters in order to advertise. And what was it? It was all, it was, it's always been something that it's not even real. It's just, like,
It's been like that
I'm
since
gonna
I
be a
think that,
Christina Aguilera when I don't know. There's a song that it says, "Welcome to the greatest show on earth you've ever." Like it is a fucking show. It's a
yeah, that's
fucking
right.
show.
You can sing. You can sing.
Oh
You
yeah.
should sing. You should sing more. I forgot about that about you. You can sing. Everybody's got a cool talent, right? You can sing. I remember that. My cool
Yes, I
talent is
can sing.
you can sing. My cool talent is I can hit balls. Like I hit balls really good. Like baseballs, tennis balls, golf balls. Like
Mhm.
I hit things hard. And yeah, that's kind of my gift. But
Yes.
yeah.
When you have that gift, I think that when you have a gift like that and you are, actually feeling good doing that, you need to keep doing it though, because it's just part of your soul and part of how
Yeah.
you connect with your soul, I guess.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to connect to because I was really good. And now I'm 44. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well,
You get somebody once told me, and it's the baseball I'm talking about him specifically is we're all told at one point in time in our lives, we're all told at one point in time that we can no longer play the young man's game. And now
exactly.
you might be told at 15, or you might be told at 40, but eventually we are all told. So
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have like a league I play in where I can still play and be kind of old. But
Yeah.
it's a hard thing for people to say that, because some people have lost it and they can't do it, whether maybe they have an injury of some kind and they can no longer do the sport that they love, or they can't do the thing that they used to do. So it's hard thing. I mean, for me anyways.
But think about how all these, I don't know how to call them, organizations, I don't know how to call them, but think about it, how difficult and how heartbreaking is that they're convincing, football players, baseball players, all, if you think about it, all the sports, and most likely it's more male, which that's another thing, like with women, right? Like they're trying to get into, well, that's another thing. But if you think about it, how fucked up it is saying that you are not good enough after your 40s. Like you're not, you're just,
No, it's not that
it's just,
you're not good enough. It's just that there's somebody better.
no, but exactly. Exactly.
But
It's like
life,
you're past through your 40s, you're fucked. You don't deserve to be
but
here, kind of like thing.
that's life. I think
You're out of it.
that's just,
No, but
that's
that's a
just
mind.
life.
I feel that that's a
It's gonna.
mindset.
Maybe I'm an athlete, so I'm taking it. I'm responding to you like I'm an athlete. Like I've done this a million times and I've thought about it a million times. All my friends are athletes. Like we've been to places. We've played international ball. I played international ball, played premier ball, played senior A fastball, and I got paid a couple of dollars here and there to play a game that I love. But there is a time, and it's just the natural progression of life. Like you're gonna retire and somebody's gonna replace you. That's kind of how life goes, right? It's about getting into the twilight. This is a new chapter. This is being
Thing it's
reborn.
getting a new chapter, and one thing it's get to the point that they're making them feel like there's nothing else beyond. Like it's not. I feel that it's just the message.
There's something you got to find it though.
Different.
So for me, for me, for my sport, I tried coaching. I coached a college prep team in which there was a small that I coached college prep baseball and
Mm-hmm.
got paid a little bit of money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my kind of idea, that I was going to stay close to the game and retire and not play anymore. But I got fired before the season started. Like, I got fired before the season started. Yeah, it was weird. Some parents were complaining that I was working the kids too hard, and because that's how I was raised. That's how I was taught. No, it's like, I'm a drill sergeant. You're here to work, kids. And apparently kids don't like working. And not all, just one or two kids bitched to their parents, and then the parents made it about safety because little Jimmy didn't want to run his 3 kilometers, right? Well, you have to. That's the rules, man. So anyways, I got fired before the season started, and I had to find something else, floating around, trying to find ways to get involved with the game, and that wasn't playing. And I think I found something. I did a live stream for my league. It was super rough live stream. Like, I've done pay-per-view events where we did big boxing events. Like, I've produced and directed those events.
Wow.
But for this, I did a pay-per-view boxing match. I've done wrestling matches as well, like WWF stuff. And I've done a lot in film and TV and things like that, which is, yeah.
We had Eric Olson today with us. He's been telling us about his amazing story. I think that we need to consider, this situation with all the men that it's going through this realization that they are in need of help to be a healthier leader, first for themselves, being in a better mindset with a better mental health. And I need that we need more men speaking up for themselves and to start embracing vulnerability. I feel that once they are in the mindset where they are able to feel safe of being vulnerable and feeling that crying is a good and healthy regulation for your body and for your emotions, then this will start change and generating better interactions, even within relationships. And if you think about it, there's a lot of unpresent deaths in kids' lives because they don't know how to cope with this. And there's a lot of men that they are deciding to just take their lives. And I think it's a call that we need to start doing, because this needs to change for the best. So like I say, thank you so much, Eric, for being here with us.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you for having me on the Dare to BS podcast. It's good seeing you again.
Thank you for telling your story, to be vulnerable. I know that this conversation was really hard for you to actually translate it into words. And I'm really grateful that you were able to do this with us.
Good chatting.
Just remember, guys, if you need anything, help, please try to reach out to people that can help you, give you the tools that you need in order for this to change your life. Reach out to communities, reach out to your friends, and don't ever stop fighting for you. Okay. Root yourself. I don't know how to say this, but just be with yourself, guys. And I'm really, really happy that I am able to say this, me as a woman, because I am pro living in a healthy way. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. We both have our own end of the story. We all have our perspective, and our own challenges with ourselves, and we need to be more compassionate, see ourselves on both sides. I feel that's the best way, so we can have a better understanding of each other. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.
I'll see you guys. Remember, there to be you, there to be us, perfectly imperfect. Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye. Bye, Eric.